So, hello and welcome to Conversations with Esther tonight. We are excited to have our speaker in the room. Allow me to pray, then we can pick from there. Father, in Jesus' name, we thank you for the session. We pray that you lead us and lead our speaker in Jesus' name. Amen. So, let me put this up just for the intro in case someone is joining us for the very first time. We do this every other day. Just make sure that no one is left behind. So this is Conversations with Esther. We hold our fireside chats every Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. And today we will be talking about customer experience for SMEs, African SMEs. As usual, we check in on you. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How are you coping? Are you managing well? Are you in the green zone? Are you struggling a bit, tired and distracted, stressed a bit? It's important that you take time and reset. How are you coping? And if you say, I'm not coping well, I'm overwhelmed, sad, and I have persistent stress, kindly reach out for help. Seeking help is not a sign of weakness. Are you in crisis? It's good to engage a professional. It's important. So let me move this down. So good. Conversations with Esther is an impact-driven professional platform that informs, educates, and rebuilds mindsets on matters work, organizational culture, and holistic wellness. Now, we ignite ethical and authentic leadership, promoting best practice within industries. Now, we equip the workplace with relevant legal, human resource, and holistic wellness skills through training. When we say training, we do training for organizations. We offer training to your organization. We offer end-to-end HR consultancy. We also train in HR. We train you in legal matters. We train you in wellness. We offer also motivational talks. Bella, kindly help me mute those people. End-to-end HR consultancy support, and we also offer mentorship programs. Now, guided by our three values, and those are our three pillars: integrity, excellence, and impact. We envision a workplace transformed by professional conversations, respectable relationships, and intentional leadership. And on this one, I want to say one thing, that we can change our workspaces and our workplaces. We can change the way we relate with each other. We can change how people feel. I love it because Bella is also very good when she comes to speak about employee experience. I have always advised that we look at our employees as internal customers. I worked in an organization that one time I consumed a product that did not go so well. Not even myself, my child did not, the product did not go so well with my child. And when I went back to the office, the feedback was not very good. I mean, the response that I got from the office, and I remember telling them I am an internal customer. I am better off because I come back with feedback. I had to take my child to the hospital for medical attention, but they didn't want to hear that. So I was internal, but that was the last time I used a product that we would sell. So it's important that we also give our employees good experience, either on our products or on the end-to-end experience from recruitment to exit. The life cycle of our employees, let's make sure that they have a wonderful experience. They may not be perfect, but let's work at it. So good. We help you walk through the 7 pillars of wellness: the physical, mental, financial, social, spiritual, environmental, and intellectual. And I keep asking this question, which pillar do you think needs your attention in this last part of the year? How are you doing with your physical health? Are you eating right? Are you sleeping well? Are you exercising? Are you prioritizing your physical wellness? How are you doing with your mental health? Are you seeking help when necessary? What are you doing? How are you handling stress? Financial wellness. What is your relationship with money? Are you investing? Are you learning about investments? What are you doing? Social wellness, making time for social gatherings, just being in spaces where you're able to breathe in and out. Your spiritual wellness, what's your relationship with God? It's a very strong pillar. Environmental, not just tree planting, but also your work environment, your home environment. How is your environment? Is it conducive? Intellectual wellness, your personal development, and I'm glad you're here for that. Our calendar for the year has been amazing. We have done great. Our last event was last Saturday. Thank you for everyone who showed up at Karura. We had the mental health awareness event and we had conversations inside Karura. We took the walk. We had a very good time. Now, coming to the dinner and awards, and I want to mention this, we possibly be changing the date, but we will communicate with you. In the meantime, keep your 5th of December open. Keep your 5th of December open for the Wellness Awards. So tonight, customer experience designed for African SMEs. I remember having a conversation with Bella, I call her Bella, and I said, the African SMEs, we need to, sometimes we don't know where our database is. We're not in touch with our clients. We run business like casual, the casual employee. I know there are HRs here. A casual employee, your relationship with, with them ends at the end of the day. So that's how we sometimes run our businesses. If you asked, where is your database? When was the last time you spoke to your customers? When was the last time you got feedback from them? So who are your return customers? What are your customers saying when they compare you to other people? What are they saying? What do they feel about the experience? The expert is in the room. No amount of advertising can repair the damage done by failing to properly address a customer's concern. Now, this is a very strong statement by Albert. No amount of advertising. I have seen on social media people vent out for concerns that they have raised in businesses and they're being ignored. I mean, you continue advertising. Actually, the comment that a customer makes of how unhappy they are, the same business owner comes and advertises a product on the same complaint trail. I'm like, what is important to the person now is you to address the issue. I have worked in retail, so I know you can wake up and just find something on social media. And what is important is that you address that. Don't run away from it. I've heard people say, just ignore it, will fade. It will not. And if it does, then some of your customers have left. So poor customer experience leads to high customer churn and missed growth opportunities. But a focus on customer experience can differentiate an SME from competitors, especially in a crowded market. Now, strong customer experiences lead to customers spending more and remaining loyal for longer. So allow me to bring Bella, our very own Bella. She's a very good friend of mine, and very professional in this space. Actually, Bella, someone asked me today, do you know a customer experience mentor. And I said, you asked this in time. We have one coming tonight. And I shared your number. And that's how so I believe they will reach out to you. Karibu sana Bella.
Asante, Esther. Thank you so much for the opportunity to engage on matters customer experience, on matters operational experience. This is a great platform. Thank you, everyone who has managed to join in. I see we are at 13 people in total on the platform. We were 15 just a few minutes ago. Kindly ping everyone whom you know is running a business, has started a business. They also know someone else who's running a business, because as Esther said, there are some components of how we engage our customers that sometimes gets lost, and we need to be reminded, or at least be centered on what is happening to our customers. If you're currently in employment, in whatever capacity or function you are in the business, if you are in customer experience, you will definitely receive a reminder of something you ought to be doing. If you're not in customer experience, I want to nudge you to go and ask within the customer experience function of the business where you work, whether they are focused on a couple of the items I'm going to be showing us today. So once again, thank you for taking some time out of your evening, this mid of the week. I will start to share my screen. I have quite some content. I may have to rush through at the very beginning, just so that we can engage heavily towards the end. Please confirm that you can see my screen. Are we good?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right, I'm presenting directly from Canva. If you experience anything that's not as coherent, please let me know. I'll be available to present from another platform. Welcome. My name is Rosebella Abok. I prefer to be called Bella. I am a global customer experience expert with a total 17 years of work experience, split halfway against commercial and customer experience. I am certified in NPS by Richard Owen, a co-creator of NPS. I'm also a change practitioner certified by ProSci, and I am currently pursuing my Lean Six Sigma Green Belt. Okay, so this is the content we're going to be covering today. More importantly is the actual content, so I'll rush through that. Why does customer experience matter for African SMEs? There's a rising expectation of customers in Africa. Currently, Africa has 20% of the world's population, and a majority of the population in Africa is under the age of 27, 25, thereabouts. Now, all these Gen Zs that are interacting with our businesses, I'd like to say a majority of them being Gen Zs, are mobile first and they are socially connected. So if you're running a business, you're in a business where mobile interaction, mobile phone interaction is not core to how you interact with your consumers, even if it's a B2B business. Let me tell you, these decision makers make decisions on WhatsApp. They do. There's the email, but there's interaction on WhatsApp. SMEs are facing some unique challenges, not common to the big corporates, the big and legacy corporates. You know, there's limited resourcing in terms of capital, access to financing, and the banks and other financial vehicles have now started in the last 5 years to focus on SMEs and how to make it easier for them to access financing. As it is, there was a G20 Ministers Summit in Johannesburg a couple of months ago, and the discussion was in and around the financial capacity, amongst other resources, for SMEs. So it's a huge discussion. SMEs also have challenges around informal systems, right? So once you realize that your product is in demand, you just put it on WhatsApp or Instagram and suddenly you have 100 leads. Suddenly you have 50 customers that are willing to buy. You're this one person with a mobile phone in your house. And then you realize, oh my, I don't really need an office. I can work from home, but I now need systems. I need Excel to just put in all these 50 people and how to engage them. I might actually need to use a family member as staff because I can't now pay someone a salary. And then before you realize it, you've ballooned. You now have a dedicated rider to do deliveries for your products, or you're sought after in person to attend to customers across the country. The African consumer, being more connected and informed right now, and knowing that I can just reach out to my friend or my family member and ask them, where do you buy? I saw you with, where can I get it? That consumer is making purchase decisions on the go. They are not waiting for a certain day. They know they will purchase month end because they are on a salary, but they've already made a decision that it is you they are buying from. So the consumer in Africa is expecting seamless, respectful, and personalized service. Esther, the last time we interacted, we were talking about personalization and hyper-personalization, understanding at a very granular and individual level what sort of service or product you should offer your customer. And so the customer of the day, our everyday customer, is getting more and more informed. They're expecting a seamless experience. But the thing is, many SMEs still operate with outdated and informal systems, and they can't keep up. Let me say we can't keep up, because then the consumer is very, very demanding. According to Harvard Business Review, a 5% increase in retaining customers who have bought from you can result to up to 95% growth in your profit. To mean, we no longer treat our customers as once off. No, as long as I have successfully delivered the product or service to them, I mean, wonderful. Let me go look for new ones. I have new leads on Facebook. I have new leads on Instagram. And right now, what Meta has done is they've ensured you're using Facebook and Instagram as part of your e-commerce construction, right? And WhatsApp as well. You can now even add a cart with WhatsApp Business. Another data point, 45%. Yeah, profitability is seen by companies that are more customer-centric than those that are not. Can you imagine? Your competitor is making at least half as much more profitably than you are if you're not focused on the customer of the day, retaining them, and making sure that they are satisfied with your service. So at this point, there's someone in the audience who is asking, so Bella, is customer experience customer service? Is it customer support? Is it customer success? This is a question we get very often in the CX fraternity. They are all very different. And here I decided to go with examples. If someone's running something, a business in the vertical within agriculture, that means you're producing food, and that food is probably being processed in any shape or form, whether it's just being washed or peeled or packaged, whatever it is, you're processing it. You're transporting it to a certain location, a marketplace, or you're doing a certain type of farming that is more sustainable in terms of both crops as well as animals, and maybe you've even decided to segment which crops because of the demand in the marketplace. What customer service looks like is that exchange point when you're putting your product out there and you're saying, this is me delivering it to the cooperative if it's milk. And it's being measured and you're being told this is how much you earn per liter. Just that exchange point, you're being served as a customer. Customer experience on the other end is they've understood who you are, how many liters you have brought, to the extent they are enabling you to carry it from your truck to that point of service. Furthermore, they are giving you a discounted rate. Furthermore, they are washing the containers for you. It's all rounded. Most of the time, people say when you go above and beyond in giving your customer a certain type of experience, understanding them and giving them extra, that is customer experience. Furthermore, if you do it consistently, so it's not just a one-off, you're washing my milk containers on the day I've delivered. It is from now henceforth, your containers will be washed because you're a certain type of customer. And it's all about convenience for you. In an industry such as, I'll go with e-commerce because I've just mentioned it, resolving an issue on your password and logged in credentials as fast as possible in an automated way is customer service. It is somebody is calling you back or you're calling the call center to say, please help me out, there's a challenge I have. On the other hand, customer experience is we've gone to the back end to make sure that you can never have a login issue, ever. We are putting a self-service tool so that even if you ever forget your password, there's that mechanism. Forgot password, then we send you something else to your email where you can reset your password. And then we ask you for feedback. Or we are making sure the day and the time that you're trying to make a payment, there is 24/7 service across the globe. No matter what happens, an easy-to-use platform on your mobile phone, on your laptop, or any other device of your choice. That's customer experience. We are looking at multiple channels, multiple interactions, multiple challenges, and we are solving those things for you, right? I'll jump right on. So some of the common customer experience gaps in African SMEs are that a customer has certain expectations. And those expectations, we said last time, are fluid. If my app, if the Carrefour app is easy to use, I expect that my bank app is also easy to use. If Netflix understands me this well and only gives me recommendations of the things I like to watch, the M-Pesa app should also just know I only use it for certain transactions. This hula baloo of the landing page has everything new that you guys are offering is not for me. Customers are saying, or at least they are expecting, if they saw a product on Instagram and they were linked to WhatsApp and they went ahead to make a purchase seamlessly and that item was delivered within 2 hours, whatever that item was, the expectation is the same for whatever else you're offering. So the thing is, are customers' expectations remaining unmet? I would dare say they are. Why? Because the person that's running a medium enterprise in Kenya, for example, has not taken the time to draw up a customer journey. And we'll cover that in another slide. To draw up and say, my customer is coming through this front. Most of the time, my customer, when they walk into my shop, they tell me, I heard about you from. And then you've mapped that to the next action. This person, when they walk in, they don't even bargain. Whatever price point I have, they just purchase. Another thing is customers are waiting. They've queued outside. Why? Because my item is in demand. But must they wait in the hot sun? And then you've drawn another journey to say immediately they walk out of my shop, most of them are on a phone call telling their friend or family, guess what I bought and at what price point. So taking the time to draw up customer journeys based on customer actions, their feelings, their sentiments, and how your business matches those sentiments is something we haven't done very well in our medium enterprises. Maybe some of our small enterprises have, but it's more intuitive than documented. And sometimes it's on a case-by-case basis and not sustainable. Another thing is we are still remaining very reactive. I mean, when things don't go well is when we decide to do something about it. And then it takes half of our day to resolve this one small issue by one customer. Is it sustainable? Not really. We need to solve at root cause and then be proactive about it. For example, never ever should a customer have a password login issue. Why? Because the first few customers that landed on our e-commerce site had that issue. So we just don't solve by calling them back. We say or we decide no other customer going forward should have that issue. Another one would be a broken feedback mechanism. Remember, I've told you about a customer who walks into the shop and says, I'm here because so-and-so told me. But in some of our businesses in Africa, we are not capturing that feedback. Neither are we doing something about it. If you see that 80% or 8 out of every 10 of your customers says that, then it means there is a positive word of mouth out there about all of your customers, or at least most of your customers. So it means they are referring. And they are referring based on a price point, because remember, this customer is not arguing on price. They're just paying. I'm here for that orange notebook. I saw it with so and so, and they told me it's 500 shillings, and I'm here to buy it. And they produce 500 shillings, or ask for the till or pay bill number so they can make their payment. So if we become inconsistent with our service delivery, or if we become inconsistent with paying attention to what customers are actually saying and doing something about it, then these gaps are not just operational, they are very strategic. And so you'll hear data like, how many? Seven out of every 10 businesses really don't make it after the third year, or at least at the third year mark. Why? You keep asking yourself, if they started out so well and there was actual demand in the market for their product and their service, what happened? What happened? There are some critical moments of trust and loyalty that we need to start measuring. I'd said something about broken customer journeys. We are not taking the time to understand that at this point, the customer makes a non-purchase decision. And not only that, they might make one purchase, but they may decide they are never coming again. Let me just do away with this one transaction. Let them just give me what I need, but I will never buy from them again. I will never come to this salon or this barber again. I will never buy a product from them. And I tell everyone who wants to hear that I had a poor experience. And so the cost of some of these broken journeys are, we are seated in our SMEs asking ourselves, why didn't customer so-and-so ever come back? Yet they bought goods worth 100,000 shillings. They are such an outlier. Most of our customers spend at the 10,000 price point. And you're seated there asking yourself, why haven't they ever come back? And maybe you're also answering yourself, they bought a lot of items, so they really don't need. Oh, no, that's not the answer. They're buying from somewhere else. They have a need and it's getting met somewhere else. You're losing revenue from abandoned customers that were either converted or that engaged with you and did not get a response. I said last time when we talked about hyper-personalization, how a learning institution had a WhatsApp group for the finance line that was answering me 4 days later on WhatsApp. So we are taking long to respond to our customers, yet we are running a campaign on Facebook or on Instagram or on the website or through a partnership with someone else. But we are taking so long to respond. Yeah. Some people are giving their experiences on WhatsApp groups. I don't know if this has been something you have experienced, but for me, with my ladies, like a group of ladies, we have a WhatsApp group. And whenever any of us has a bad experience or a great experience for that matter, we share everything, including the photo or the video of the experience, the price point. This is where I was, this is what I was doing, this was my mood, and this is how it happened. There is communities in which people are speaking about your brand. You might as well go above and beyond so that the only discussion they are having is how great a brand you are. Which means there's a decrease in form of missed opportunities for upselling to existing customers, but also for referrals. Because for me, all it takes is one of my lady friends whom I've known for more than 20 years telling me, do not ever buy that product. I will not buy it to go and see if I will also have a bad experience. I'll just not buy it. I'll just make a decision based on that referral, or rather, let's say bad recommendation. And to be blunt, the truth is, for every customer that has a poor experience or whose journey is broken and tell someone about it, you have lost potential revenue. Yeah. Why is someone that's offering a service similar to yours at a higher price point doing better than you? It's not about number of customers necessarily. There must be something that they are doing that's unique and probably not expensive that their customers appreciate about the experience. And so in this African market where we know word of mouth is everything and how powerful it is, one bad experience is losing you a couple of customers. Some data has shown anywhere between 5 to 15 more customers you are losing because of poor word of mouth about your brand. So it's time that we designed customer experiences very intentionally. There is a return on investment, because I hear you when you say, I am a growing business, Bella, my turnover is not even 5 million a year. Or maybe it is, you're at the 10 million mark, but you've been stuck there for 5 years. That's all you're making since COVID. And you're saying, Bella, I have limited resources. By the time I pay everyone and everything, what I'm getting, and you're still asking me to expend some money on customer experience. So here's the thing, there's a return on investment. I've already told you, if your company is a customer experience laggard, another company that's a customer experience leader is making up to 45-50% more profitability. Not just more money, more profitability. They take out their expenses, they look at their incoming, and the profit is 45% more than yours because they focused on designing for the customer. The numbers speak for themselves if you're measuring. So when we design those experiences that we know will delight our customers and that our customers will stay longer with us and they will spend more with us and they will refer others and they will recommend our brands, what you're looking at in time is a 20% referral rate. Someone's going to look at that percentage and say it's quite low. But here's the thing. It's not just referral because I told someone about you. It is that they came and bought. They expended something from their wallet just because I told them about you. And then at about 48% more consumers will abandon a purchase and they will buy elsewhere. It's not that their need will end. They will buy elsewhere just because they had a poor experience with you. Now, isn't it interesting that if our pulse is not on what's happening that's delighting our customers or what's happening that's disappointing our customers, if we do not have visibility of this, we are still selling blind. We are still selling on hope. Somebody I know that I used to work with a couple of years ago used to say, hope is not a strategy. We are selling on hope. We hope that customers will come back. We hope that they will pay. But we want to be deliberate with that hope, that there is something we have done and we have gone extra and we've done above and beyond. Therefore, this hope is pegged on actual revenue, money in the bank. Yeah. So about customer journey mapping, I highlighted something about a customer that walks into a store. The very first stage is awareness. And this is a simple framework. It might look academic, but once you start to draw your customer's journey and you've understood who your customer is, they are of a certain demographic in terms of age, location, gender, etc. They are of a certain lifestyle. They are of a certain physiographic attributes. And you've understood that customer, when they find out, they usually find out through social media. But here's the thing. Do they link to our website? Do they go to our social media handle? They do. But they don't make a purchase decision until they compare us to somebody else who might be doing the same thing. That's the consideration stage. And then now they make a choice. I'll buy. Let me buy and see. And Nani says it's a good product. Let me buy. Here's the thing. SMEs are happy with money in the bank and it stops there. We're not asking the customer, did you wear the certain item of clothing you bought with us? Did you go to the event? So the other day I engaged a tailor and she made for me a very good piece. And I was in a mad hurry to wear it. You know how it is with new clothes. I tell you can even find an event just so that. Anyway, I did have an event and I put on the outfit. And I remember her reaching out to me and saying, nitumie a picture. Send me a photo of you at the event. This is a post-purchase engagement. It's not just enough that the product reached me and I'm happy and you have your money. It is that I am still part of a certain aspect of your life. I am endearing myself as a tailor and fashion designer to some part of your life. And not only that, I'm even daring to say, did anyone ask you about the outfit? Or I'm even offering on my end to say, I've already told 3 people about you and I've sent them your number. Expect them to call you. Furthermore, the photo might be even on my WhatsApp status. Talk about advocacy. Like I'm already putting it out there. All of my contacts that look at my WhatsApp status will see that outfit. Some of them will chat me. Better yet, if I put a text message against that WhatsApp status photo, they already know who to call or who to chat about that outfit. That's advocacy. But you see, it has to be designed. You have to design it for your business. You have to say, this is how I'm mapping our customer's journey or a segment of my customer's journey to make sure that there's a loyalty component, there's a referral component, there's an advocacy component. We are removing friction areas. We are saying if the outfit didn't fit so well, what piece of the outfit, because it was a 2-piece outfit, what piece of the outfit did you still wear? Bring the part that didn't fit you so well, I'll do something about it. Better yet, I might give you fabric, something. What are we doing to recover our customers? What are we doing to say, okay, you might have had a painful part of that journey, but I'm doing something about it and I'll make sure, you don't have the same experience again. And here we are saying it doesn't have to be at a high price point. You don't have to have a sophisticated tool for you to map your customer journey. You can do it on Excel. You can follow through with a conversation on WhatsApp with our customers. You map what their decision points are. You don't need a massive budget. You need to start where you are. And then what are you measuring? I think I've already highlighted referral rates, retention rates. There's a formula to it, which we will not go into at this very moment. But, if you reach out to me, we can definitely have another conversation tailored to your experience, your business model, etc. The Net Promoter Score is a score against a Likert of 0 to 10. And customers say whether they would recommend you based on the experience they've had. Then there's a percentage calculated to it. The customer lifetime value measures the entire time the customer is with you. How much are they likely to spend or to have others spend? Whether it's from initial purchase all the way to the end. And sometimes some customers are just with you. They are loyal. So you must have a certain amount of money that you're saying each and every customer over the period of time that they interact with me as a business should spend with us or should bring to the business. And then having very good response times. I've mentioned this already. And the first response, get it right the first time. If you're not clear on what the customer needs, ask again for clarity. But get it right the first time. Do not send a customer to have to go to your social media to rant because they tried reaching you. They tried getting someone to help. All the time that I look at social media rants, I know that a brand has blundered. The word is blundered because we just don't go to social media on the first poor experience we have with a brand. Most of the time, we have forgiven them. We have tried other avenues. We have, and then now it's about time we put them out there as having given me a poor experience. And so if you're measuring some key performance indicators that matter to your business, not just how much money is coming in, but how many customers didn't we convert? We're still talking with them and nurturing them. And we know the least amount of money on our price card is 1,000 shillings. So for every 10 customers that you have not converted, at a minimum, that is 10,000 shillings. And maybe that is 10 unconverted customers per day. 10,000 shillings per day is out there. It is somewhere. Maybe even they've spent elsewhere. So it's not with you. What are we really measuring? That's equivalent to either money in the bank or money that should be in the bank. Yeah. So customers should get optimized experiences against their journey points that map to profitability for your business. You're personalizing your communication. You're speaking to them post-purchase. You're gathering their feedback. You're doing something about that feedback. You're creating a ripple effect when it comes to word of mouth, and you're measuring the right things with the most affordable tools that your business can. So here we go. Where do we start off, or what can we do to get us on the winning path? And if you're already on the winning path, what can you do to amplify your wins? What looks like a long-term strategy for you? If short-term is 6 months to a year, what are we saying we can do now that will make our business sustainably profitable for the next 5 years? I like to say, if you're not doing it already, start with gathering your customer feedback, analyzing it. If you must, line by line. But these days, there's AI tools that you can feed data to that will give you certain insights. So you can do surveys, which means outbound and you're trying to solicit feedback, or you can re-examine what your customers have said on WhatsApp, on email, because that's unsolicited feedback, but they just told you, I really like the outfit, the rider was late. You know, and there you are, the rider was late, and then you're starting to see it recurring. For all of the 50 customers, the rider was late, the rider was late. The rider left the items outside of my gate. The rider did not call, the rider did not ring the bell. You're starting to see a certain trend. So there's a person in your chain, in your customer journey, that's letting you down. Anything that's been posted on your social media handles is an avenue for unsolicited feedback. Anything that customers are saying, if you have an app and they're giving feedback on, a Google review process or some other review platform process where your app is being hosted, that is rich feedback. It's unsolicited most of the time, or it is solicited at a certain cadence. You need to look at that feedback. And then train your staff. In this case, I mentioned a rider, if it's a physical product that's being delivered. Train that rider for empathy and communication. Sometimes we think my product is the best quality, and we're not looking at the rider that's letting us down, because by the time the item arrives, it is something else. I'll give an example of cakes. When you do cakes with soft icing, you give it to a rider to deliver it. There's a way it looked like on your kitchen surface, or wherever it is that you're icing the cake. And by the time you put it in the box so carefully, there's a way that cake is still looking. But by the time it arrives to your customer, if your customer does not know how to repair icing on a cake, or if it was not, the farm type of icing, we're in trouble. So we need to train our staff on empathy, communication, and handling of our customers and the products that we deliver, or the services that we deliver. We need to create a simple feedback loop for everything that the customer is telling you, solicited and unsolicited, get back to them. Remember the post-purchase part of the journey. We're trying to create loyalists and advocates for our brand. So always do a follow-up. Then pilot this with one of your projects. Any one of your projects. If you have a new product that you're launching into the market, pilot this. Go in for customer feedback. I will not be surprised that you will pivot on how that product is delivered to your customers based on the feedback you find out. And even in some cases, if these are customers that have been with you for a while, literally ask them, what is it that really keeps you coming back? How many people have you told about us? You're a frequent referrer. How many people would you say, ever since we started our business, have you told? And then you ask them why. Why do you keep advocating for us? You'll be surprised, because you guys keep time. And you're like, it's not about our product. It's like, no, it's because you guys keep time. You'll be super surprised. It's because of how flexible you guys are. It's because you customize for me every time. Every time you customize for me, and it always matches my expectations. So CX is a journey. It's not a one-time fix. When you say we want to be a CX leading company, a customer-centric company that is designing experiences deliberately to delight our customers for loyalty and advocacy, it's not a one-day affair. It's not a one-week affair. It's a commitment. Yeah, it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So the call to action here, let's identify at least one or two customer pain points, like pain that the customer has even made a decision to never buy from you again. Call those dormant customers. Call a customer who ever bought from you just once. They've never bought again. And you know, they might actually say, now is when you're getting back to me 1 year later. Then you'll say it's because your feedback is important to improving how we run our business. Or is it enough for you that I now buy onions from so and so? I don't want your onions anymore. And you're like, yeah, it's okay. Please tell me what happened. And they'll tell you, oh, you know, when I bought those onions, I distributed. I gave my sister some, I gave my neighbor, I gave my mom, and I gave my colleague at work. And all of them told me they had at least one rotten onion, you know, and it made me feel bad. I like to gift the people around me when I buy things in bulk. So, you know, they'll give you this feedback. They will. So the call to action for us is go and find out and try and resolve at least one or two customer pain points. It's going to be your competitive advantage. You might even find out something that's ailing your customer about your competitor because they went and bought from your competitor. Don't wait. Design a customer journey today based on your customer's current experience, not how you wish or the ideal state. You know, map it today. And then, you know, partner with someone, partner with me, partner with Esther to try and validate or look at what is it that would fit my business if I was driving for loyalty and advocacy. If you take nothing away from today's conversation, is that mapping intentional and delightful customer experiences is not an option. It's your edge if you're going to remain relevant. In the African setting that has what percentage of population of the world? And ever growing, and with a growing population of below 27 years of age that are making decisions that are mobile first and that are recommended by their friends and family. If you want, go and identify those recurring issues, improve a process or two processes. And you can get back to me. I'm available on LinkedIn, I'm available on email, and say, Bella, look, I found out this, and I'm thinking this or this. What do you think? Let's map something out. And then train your employees. If those are 1 or 2 or 10 or 50, train your customer-facing employees first for them to work with empathy and great communication towards your customers. I'd like to end my presentation there. Esther, I know I didn't even invite you to say, hey, what's on the chat? What are people saying? What sort of questions or comments there are? So I want to open the floor right here, right now for that.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Bella. Thank you. I know, I see we are still 13 in the room. Let's feel free to ask any question or engage the speaker. You can raise your hand so that we see you. Owen, Carol, Kagwi, Silonia, Chalicha, Kevin, Liz, Frank, Jason, Ndete. Let's talk to Bella. Let's get free consultation here for now. But that was amazing. That's amazing. And I like what you talked about, you know, the social media. And I know we are told women can build or break your business. When we go for chamas, Ndete, I see you in a minute. When we go for charmers and we are discussing the experience, they're saying, we like your dress, but and the other woman is like, don't do that. Don't go there. I suffered to get this dress done. You know what you ordered versus what you got. Ndete.
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
All right, my name is Ndete, and I just wanted to ask, based on the lovely presentation by Rosbella, she actually gave an example of something I've been thinking about because not only have I seen it around, but also experienced it in my line of work, whereby um, a situation where uh, a client of ours perhaps didn't have the best experience. And the unfortunate thing, I may not have the background story to its truth, but what I know is I've been trying to act as the point of just giving empathy and trying to listen to the grievances of the client. But I think it's a situation that had been swept under the rug for a while, and it erupted and they went on to rant on the social media pages. So at this point, indeed, it's being looked into. Perhaps it was a misunderstanding, perhaps it was an overlook, perhaps indeed it was what he says his experience was. But when it gets to that point now, it moves from trying to understand and give empathy to sort of some firefighting, and at the same time also trying to protect the brand. But when it spins out of control, I'm left wondering what to do, because you'll find there's pressure from your bosses to quell the matter, but really you're just caught between a rock and a hard place. Perhaps you'd give some insight into what someone could do in that situation.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. And you're very right. There is a background story. And by the time it's a full-on rant on social media, there has been multiple ways that this customer has forgiven your brand before, or has tried to reach out to you, or has tried to, to get a refund, to get some care, some much needed attention from your brand. They've now decided to just put it out there. A customer that has already reached that point is not an easy customer to please, because now they are at a place where, oh, so you care, so you actually care. And sometimes the request we are making of that customer is to pull the post down. It's not that we will become a different brand or that we will treat them any differently if this issue happened again. It is that we are trying to save our reputation and be selfish about it. Sometimes that's what's happening. In this case, always as a brand, respond on social. I know it's a case-by-case issue, and some brands will tell you, no, keep quiet, do not say anything. And usually that one escalates, unasalimiwa. People come out in the numbers to defend that person, whether or not the brand also made a good gesture towards the customer. Try and respond. We've seen some brands recover by humor. We've seen some brands recover by sending nano influencers to try and reach the person through the same post. We've seen experiences where it doesn't have to directly be your brand, but some other form of influence that DMs them and gets them to know that something different has been done. I'll not say that the diagnosis is the same for each and every customer that has had that bad experience. And I'm not saying all of them upon request will bring down their post and or post again to say that you guys have done something about the situation. But in this case, draw up that journey internally within your business. Find out what it is that was broken. Because again, if you reach this customer and then you start to ask them, so what happened? Oh my. They don't even want to repeat it. Find out and own up. Own up to whatever it is that the customer felt wronged about. Own up, send them the message, call them and say, we are sorry that when you called us, no one picked up, and that when you spent that money and asked for a refund, no one responded to you. Own up to that customer. This is how you win them back. Are all cases win backs? No. I mean, at some point, kuna customer you can't move heaven or earth for, and it is okay. Let it be. And then circle back to them after some time, and when they have quelled down, do not give up on them. That would be my response. Esther, I see a couple of chats.
Yes, I think you can address them. I can read them out for you. What's the process? This is
Please.
Kelvin. Kelvin is asking, what's the process of reconstructing a damaged online experience for a business?
Yeah. I've highlighted a bit of it. It is try at all costs to reach that customer. And when you say damaged online business, it means the primary value chain was digital. Reprogram, rename your product, draw up your customer journey, go and recalibrate, come back, make a comeback. I don't know what level of damage this is. Is it damage? You've been shut down. AWS will not work with you. Google will not work with you. Meta Business will not work with you. Is it damaged that a couple of customers have ranted awfully about your brand and no one can see you any different? If that's the case, rebrand. Rebrand and come back better, fresher. Get a couple of us into a focus group discussion, including those of your customers that were loyal to your brand. If you have access to their details, get them in a focus group discussion and ask some of these imperative questions. What made you leave? What would have made you leave? Is there a competitor in the market that you bought from? Are you waiting for us to come back? If we were to come back, what would you want us to do differently? Those are the type of raw engagements you would need, where you get honest feedback about what it is that broke your brand, and then recalibrate and come back.
Good. I see Owen saying, I have been in the hospitality industry and customer service is a big deal. I expect to receive the same service that I give. Absolutely. Now, Frank,
Yes, Owen.
Frank is asking, how does one maintain friendly conversations with customers, but at the same time maintaining professionalism?
That's a good one. Are your customers your family and friends? I would say in your customer journey, draw up some boundaries. Draw up some boundaries. Have you seen when you go to a restaurant or a hotel, you know, sometimes the chef is the owner of that restaurant, but when do they engage you? They don't come at the point when you're entering, unless it's the opening of that restaurant. At the point when you're entering, no, there's somebody else there. When you're well seated, they might not bring you the menu, right? Even when it's their family and friends and it's the chef and he's the owner of the restaurant, he's not the one bringing you the menu. After you've made your order and your food is presented, he might also not be the one that puts the food on the table. He comes later or she comes later. They might even sit with you and you guys have laughs and you drink your water, your tea, or your drink of choice, right? And then they'll move away again. It doesn't take away from them being friendly, but they just understand that somebody else needs to do the other parts of the journey, and where they come in is still impactful. They also will not bring you the bill. and then start to negotiate at where this restaurant of yours is too expensive and you're the owner and the chef. Give us a discount. No, somebody else will present that bill because there's a rate in the hotel. You're being professional. There's a business here we are running. And then by that time, you'll have retreated back to the kitchen. And so it's for you to draw up that journey and start to create certain boundaries and even put people or a process or a tool in between there. If your friends and family are too friendly on your personal WhatsApp, waambie kumake order is at the WhatsApp for business number, that other number. I'm sure they will serve you. Start to create those mini boundaries. Doesn't mean you're their enemy. You are their friend. We just want to understand that this is a business and this is where I come in.
Thank you. Thank you. Stella says, hello, nice training. What are the tools found on AI used to measure CX? And I think that should be our last one.
Okay, so I would say, what are the AI-driven tools? A lot of customer experience technology tools have now embraced the use of AI. So if you look at zebo.ai, zebo.ai, they are using artificial intelligence to make sure that the droves of data that you can collect across multiple channels and touch points are analyzed in real time. No, the way I was saying line by line analysis doesn't work for all businesses. If you're making at least 500 sales a day and a couple of thousand payments a month, you want to use tools that have embedded artificial intelligence within the CX fraternity. So zebo.ai is your go-to for voice of customer analysis, voice of employee analysis that is also mapped to insights that drive your marketing engagement. That's one of the platforms I can definitely endorse. There's a couple of others that are using artificial intelligence. So they've moved away from being hardcore. Other platforms such as Qualtrics, the CRM tools that are an array, anything that Triana Group is offering, Zoho, those are the tools. From a call center perspective, so it depends where in the customer journey and where in the customer's experience are you looking for insights? And then I can point you in the right direction in terms of tools that have an AI component. And with that, Esther, I had put a Menti code. It's there on the screen. I'd like to invite all of the participants. Please type in menti.com into your browser and you will input the code 28408732. There's only one question. Why? Because you're my customer today and I want your feedback. Menti.com on your browser. The code is 28408732. It's just one question that will come on your screen. You can do this on your laptop, on your phone, or any other device. It will morph to match the user interface on the screen, and you can fill in. It's a one-question survey. How sweet. You know how some surveys are long? This one is a one-question survey. Let's see. I'm looking for the results of those who've answered. Okay, at least one person has answered. You're expected to give at least 2 responses. There's someone who said they will start a customer journey map and they will seek out feedback from their customers and they will act on it. If I was to go back on the screen, menti.com 28 40 87 32. Please take the one question survey. Okay, we're seeing 3 people have responded. Thank you for that. We're saying we're going to seek out customers' feedback and act on it. Awesome. There's someone who says, I'll tell a business owner about what I've learned today. Yeah, if there's a business owner that you know that needs to act on their customer feedback. Thank you so much, Esther, for the opportunity. Even as the participants continue to answer, we are now at 4 people. I'll stop sharing my screen.
I have sent the code there. Someone has asked for the code 28408732. I know we can continue doing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually available for a couple of hours. It's a 1 question survey. Don't postpone. I mean, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. Thank you, Bella, for your time and always for the great insights. You are an accomplished person. So if you want to reach Bella, you can share your number on the chat kindly if they want to reach you.
Okay.